Good afternoon, everyone. This is Henry. I'm going to be covering a couple of charts with you tonight. One of them I believe I've done a couple of times, but I would like to think that a move in it is starting to become a little more imminent, and I also think there's a lot of good things to look at inside the pattern, and that is here with Meta. So the main thing that stands out is its relationship from 384 down into 88, and while that's a very big picture view, it may take some time to see really come to fruition. When that relationship sees prices get through the 618, basically you measure the downdraft, and if the market is going to remain bearish, this is a very typical proportion to turn back lower from. But it hasn't done that, right? It cleared it with a relative degree of ease. So that push up through the 618 helps us think that from this proportional way of thinking, it's then looking at the old swing high and then extensions that will follow past that. But once we see that relationship to its biggest correction, then we look at the 3-day squeeze. All right, squeezes can tend to drive good directional moves, and that's a mature squeeze, right? It's been in play for several weeks now, and when it finally fires, I think we'll see a move. We can then take that into thinking here on the daily chart, where at its most basic level, the name has been chopping around 300. And a stock can only stay at a level like this for so long, right? 300 for a month now. It's eventually going to be a $270 stock or $340 stock. Now, I would like to try to trade this in line with the broad market, which is to say, if we get into this on Monday and Tuesday and the indices are selling off and everything's bearish, well, then this is not going to be, I don't want to be buying. But if we get into it and markets are looking okay, this name is coiled. And what you try to do is be in position, next week, maybe it's the purchase of the $310 call. Right? I don't usually focus on out of the money options, but it's one of those things where if you can find it when it is finally ready to become untethered off 300, those can actually pay very well. And then, you can go into further explorations as well if you like. But I want to tie all that in to the volume that we saw on Wednesday's wick. To look at this volume and think that, well, that occurred on a day that the stock was down, I don't think that paints the full picture. I think you have to look at this and say, yes, it closed lower than where it opened, but it also closed in the upper third of its range. It closed after having a wick that was very, well received. Prices got down to that 100-day simple, and they got picked up pretty quick. So if that's a signal of good support in that area, maybe that helps the squeezes. Maybe that helps us get up off of 300, and that's just a piece of work that I'm carrying into next week. Now, the other that I thought I would mention, just because it's a multi-year double bottom potentially, is here in Disney. So I don't really know if I'm going to be trading this one. Again, just take the work and do with it as you see fit. But you can notice here over the past couple of weeks that 80 is an area where you're trying to double bottom. And while that may not be terribly impressive, when you step back and look at it off of this weekly chart, you'll see that this was the correction back through 2020, and that is a much bigger double bottom. So, double bottoms are the ones that work. Otherwise, it's just a place for price to consolidate before moving lower. That's a way of giving you a disclaimer that's saying, don't get too heavy into this right here, but you start to see something like 82, that could lead to 85, and maybe those levels from 2020 end up being good support. So again, I hope you find the analysis helpful in your trading. You guys have a great weekend, and I hope to see you in the rooms on Monday. Hey traders, this is Henry with simplertrading.com. I wanted to thank you for watching today's video. I hope you found it helpful, and if so, be sure to click the like and subscribe buttons down below. If you would like to also see me putting these ideas into action and trading my own account live in front of you, be sure to sign up at simplertrading.com, and I hope to see you in the chat room sometime soon.